Okay, today's topic will be the operating cycle and cash cycle. Like if you are observing the screen, we have image here, operating cycle image, that is purchase first. Okay, every business have to purchase the raw material first. Then once they purchase raw material from factory, they have that is raw material that is converted into, they have to bring that one to factory, that is gone under to production process, then it is converted into working progress, then again production process, then finished goods. Once finished goods is done, then indirect expenses, everything will happen for selling and distribution expenses, then sales will occur. For sale, both option are the cash sale and credit sale. If cash sale is there, then we will collect cash directly. If credit sale, then debt collection period and or credit payment period will comes. Then realization of amount, income. After once we get income from amount from our debtors, we will get to know whether profit or loss here. Then cash. Again, this process is keep on going. Okay, in company, this process is this type of process is known as operating cycle. It refers to the time of length of time required to complete the following sequence of event, that is conversion of cash into inventory. Sorry, it is this one is cash. Okay, cash into inventory, inventory into receivable, and receivable into cash. From purchasing of raw material till collection of sale and collection of cash, that is known as operating cycle. In simple words, okay, the length of time between purchasing raw material or inventory and receiving cash from sales, this is refers to be operating cycle. The formula for operating cycle will be operating cycle equal inventory period plus account receivable period. Under inventory period, all this process will come: purchase of raw material, this conversion of raw material into working progress, semi-finished goods into working progress, then working progress into finished goods. How much time is spent required, that is comes under this inventory period plus account receivable. That is once the sale is done, how much time it required, businessmen how much time they required to collect payments from their debtors. This will comes under account receivable period. This is also refers as, this operating cycle is also known as gross operating cycle. Whereas another one here, cash cycle. Cash cycle is also known as net operating cycle. Let's see what is cash cycle. Cash cycle is length of time between payment for inventory and receiving cash from sales. Here what is there here? The length of time between purchasing of inventory. Here from purchase it will start, but once purchase is done, then we will make payment to creditors from whom we purchase, supplier. Okay, the creditors, when we will pay them from that time till we receive cash from sales. That is in formula you will get to know. Operating cycle minus account payable period, that is creditor payment. Once you paid creditors payment, then it is known to be cash cycle or else net operating cycle. For this one figure is that in that one you will understand this concept. Here what is the difference between operating cycle and cash cycle? Like I have said, raw material purchase, once if you make the place order, then stock will arrive to factory. Then inventory period will start from here, that is raw material period, raw material conversion to semi-finished goods, semi-finished goods to working progress, then it is finished goods till here. Here finished goods comes, then this one is sold in the market. Once the product is sold here, then account receivable period will start. Once sales is occur, then account receivable period will start. Then here you will collect cash. These are all the process will comes under operating cycle. This everything. Okay, once stock, okay, order is made, order won't come. Okay, this order place sign between this order place sign stock arrive. This period won't come under operating cycle, but it start from stock arrive to the factory. Once you purchase raw material till finished goods, till cash received from sales, this all process is known as operating cycle. Like here, from raw material purchase to cash received from sales, this is known as operating cycle. But whereas what about cash cycle? Once you purchase raw material, this supplier also provide you few months time to pay him. That is creditors. You also collect time from creditors for payment for raw material. Suppose 2 months. In 2 months, you may convert that one. No, maybe the goods is converted till maybe it is almost near to finished goods. That is the time you have to pay your creditors. That is account payable period. Here cash paid for material. From here, once you paid amount to creditors, from that time this cash cycle will start. From that time to cash receive, till here cash receive will come. This term is known as cash cycle, or else net operating expenses. In few books, net operating expenses minus depreciation term to be cash cycle, but in few books it is referred as cash cycle equal net operating cycle. This is the concept which comes under operating and cash cycle. The question, like I said, working capital, we are talking about working capital. That is current asset financing policy. Till now, working capital, every business have to keep working capital. What if company don't have enough or sufficient balance to maintain working capital? That is, they don't have sufficient fund to maintain current asset, to purchase current asset. In that situation, what company have to do? Because working capital is very, very important. Working capital is also known as the value of current asset. So how company will invest if they don't have sufficient current asset? In that situation, company have to finance. They have to look into financing policy. That is, they have to borrow. They have to borrow funds. There are majorly two types. There are majorly two sources from which company can raise current asset. Company can raise current asset. That is short-term finance and long-term finance. Such as short-term finance is also known as, that is current liability. Short-term finance is current liability. That is, if you took loans or advances from banks for short period, or else suppliers, that is creditors. You have creditor if you finance amount from suppliers, or public deposit, commercial paper. If you collect that one from in debt sources, then it terms to be short-term financing. What about long-term sources of financing, such as share capital, long-term borrowing, or else retained earnings, and so on, are your sources for long-term financing sources. Now question arises here, from which source, how much portion you have to raise? That is, you require current asset. For current asset, for raising current asset, you have two sources, short-term and long-term. How much portion? If suppose if you required 1 lakh amount of current asset, you required 1 lakh amount to raise current asset. Whether you will collect all amount from short-term sources or else from long-term sources, or else you will combine both, you will mix both. That is, equally you will purchase 50,000 from short-term, 50,000 from long-term. That for taking that type of situation, we have that type of situation is known as financing. This decision you have to take into consideration. For this one, we have three approaches. For taking this approach, appropriate decision for our financial mix, we have three decisions. That is hedging approach, that is matching approach, also known as matching approach first. Second one is conservative approach. Last one is trade-off between these two, or else This is also known as aggressive approach. Each cases we will discuss now. Coming to first one, matching approach or else hedging approach. Under this one, like this figure tells you everything. This is expanding business. Okay, the businesses keep on growing, so the fixed asset is also growing. Suppose you required one machinery in starting stage, then it moved to two machinery, then the fixed asset it again increased to 5. So this fixed asset is also increasing. Now coming to what we are discussing, working capital, permanent working capital and temporary working capital. That is now permanent current asset and temporary current asset. What this matching approach will tell you, according to this approach, what it tells, companies should finance permanent current asset with long-term financing. Okay, these which are required in a certain amount for a given level of operation. Okay, so this level, this permanent current asset won't change. So why we require short-term financing? Instead of short-term financing, it is better to opt long-term financing. This matching approach will tell you to raise permanent current asset. If permanent current asset value is 1 lakh, they will tell you to raise that amount from long-term financing such as return earnings, long-term, this is debtors, long-term loans, or as share capital. From that sources you have to raise and you have to utilize that fund in permanent current asset. But whereas in fluctuating current asset, fluctuating this working capital, because you don't know, permanent current asset, you know, it is fixed for if business is operated at one unit, or else the volume of production is 1 lakh. This permanent working current asset won't change. But whereas this one temporary working capital is seasonal, based on demand, it will fluctuate. In that situation, this matching concept approach will tell you to adopt to borrow short-term financing. Short-term financing. This is comes under hedging approach. This conservative approach, it tells you the estimated, because you estimate current asset, permanent current asset, in that situation you have to utilize long-term financing. But it also suggests the part of temporary working capital or temporary current asset is also have to be financed by long-term financing. Long-term sources you have to finance. Long-term finance also you have to use by the part of, okay, one few part of this temporary current asset have to be utilized from long-term financing, because according to this approach, long-term financing, the risk involvement is very less, because the interest rate what they will charge, okay, the rate of payment is very less. So it is better if you adopt long-term financing. But whereas short term you have to pay more interest, you have to pay more charges, you have to pay, that is cost of capital is more in terms of short term financing. So it will tell above a part of, okay, this temporary current asset also have to be share between long term as well as short term. Few part of this temporary current asset have to be done by raised by long term, and the remaining part have to be raised from short term financing. This will comes under conservative approach. Last approach, that is trade off between both, that is it is mixture of both, like I have said. In why this approach will tell, this approach will tell you to raise fund from long term. Okay, permanent current asset, you know, everyone knows, you know, every businessman can estimate a part of this permanent current asset, that is permanent working capital, they can know. So in that situation, the long term financing have to be used only up to a certain limit. After that one, if suddenly if requirement is done, then you have to raise short term financing. Why to simply waste this long term financing? If we kept more permanent working capital, then For that one also we have to pay cost of capital. For long-term financing, we have to pay part of cost of capital. This approach will tell you when the time when company needed working capital for permanent current asset also, because short term is also easily financed. So it will tell you to raise when demand arise. In that situation only you have to raise short term financing, both in case of permanent as well as temporary working capital. This is the difference approaches which company have to decide. Okay, the company have to decide under which approach they have to finance their working capital, that is they under which approach they have to finance their current asset. This permanent current asset or permanent working capital is easily estimated by the company. Like if the time span of conversion of raw material into finished goods require 2 months, for 2 months how much expenditure they will incur, such as salary to employees, rent for building, and other all transportation cost, electricity charge, everything. They know, they can easily predict this permanent working capital. So this matching approach will tell based on that one you have to finance this long-term financing. Whereas short-term, when requirement is done, then only you have to raise this short-term financing, because the short-term financing, raising of short-term finance is very easy. If you collect loan from bank, it is very easy. So when time needed, then only you have to raise short-term financing, that is matching approach. Based on demand and sales, you have to match the situation. But whereas second approach, that is conservative approach, it will tell you to, because the short-term financing cost of short-term finance is more, in because of that one you have to finance, you have to use long-term financing only instead of short-term. Part of temporary current asset is also have to be financed with long-term. Remaining, if you needed extra temporary working capital, in that situation you have to raise short-term financing. Last that is aggressive, it will tell why to waste amount. Instead of that one, use in permanent current asset only, permanent working capital, you have to raise part of permanent working capital, you have to utilize long-term financing. When time required, then you have to, the part of permanent working capital also have to be utilized from short-term financing if you required. If not required, means you can use this long-term financing elsewhere, and you can make productive use from this short-term financing. By the way, by this one you can save cost of capital. This is all regarding this type of approach. It depend on company which approach they will follow.